High school guy Junichi watches as many of his schoolmates have coupled up, leaving him and his guy friends without any girls. When his friends start reading erotic magazines in class, Junichi is caught holding a copy in front of the fashionable and pretty Yukana Yame, who is disgusted. His friends choose June to ask her out because she is a gal, a type of high school girl reputed to be very sexually promiscuous. They place a confession letter in her shoe locker. Junichi is shocked to see Yukana and confesses to her in a dogaza position as suggested by his friend Shinpei. Yukana is uncertain at first, even guessing correctly that he is a virgin and that he is mostly interested in staying where he is so he can stare at her panties. But despite seeing him completely embarrassed about that, she agrees to be his girlfriend. The day after the confession, Junichi is still shocked and how he will treat Yukana. Shinpei suggests Junichi have a karaoke date where they can make out in the private room. Yukana announces she is dating Junichi in front of their class. Afterwards, she invites Junichi to karaoke as she has done with her friends before. As they sing, Junichi has fantasies of seducing Yukana. Recalling Shinpei's advice, he attempts to kiss her, but Yukana stops it by suddenly pointing out his protruding nose hair. Although she laughs it off, when she leaves the room, she thinks over Junichi's attempt. As they leave the karaoke place, Ranko sees them from a distance. Junichi feels obligated to honor an invitation placed in his shoe locker. He ends up meeting Ranko, who aggressively seduces Junichi until Yukana stops them. Yukana tells Junichi that Ranko is her childhood friend, but that she is dangerous, which is soon affirmed when Ranko secretly vows to destroy the relationship between Yukana and Junichi. The next day, Junichi, Yukana, and Ranko are wandering in the city when they are approached by two guys who make a move on Yukana. Although Junichi's attempts to protect Yukana result in him being shoved away, Ranko agrees to join the two guys, only to beat them up shortly afterward. Ranko later shows up at Junichi's house where she seduces Junichi again, deducing that he is a virgin and that he is dating Yukana because he wants to get laid. Junichi denies the allegations and declares he only wants to have sex with the girl he really loves. His statement infuriates Ranko, and she becomes more aggressive until Yukana sees them again in an awkward position. Yukana plays it down and leaves the residence with Ranko. As the girls leave, Junichi's classmate Yui views them from a distance. This episode starts as Yui reminisces herself, seemingly satisfied as being greeted by her classmates, especially Junichi. Then Junichi conducts research on Garrus, Gal, and ended up in an online show featuring a stylish girl who berates people while her followers agree through chat. At school, Yui arrives as classmates greeted. Unknown to them, Yui treats and thinks them low like maids and butlers. Keigo, along with Junichi, Shinpei, and Minoru, discusses the girl he saw online last night. He shows them his phone with the girl he saw. Shinpei doubts the image as he previously saw the girl somewhere else. Yukana joins her friends and Yui seizes the opportunity of having a conversation with Junichi. At the cafe, Yui berates Yukana while Junichi is seemingly unsure on his position as he and Yukana were officially dating. Meanwhile, Shinpei watches Boa, the stylish girl who streams online while berating people, and finally realizes that girl he somewhere knew. And Boa was just one person as he hits the print screen button. The next day, Shinpei discusses his discovery to Keigo and Minoru that Boa and Yui were indeed a one person through her berating opinion, which links them and comparing images. And Ranko butts into their discussion. Yui invites Junichi to the rooftop and confesses that she likes him, ordering him to break up with Yukana. Junichi turns down Yui's confession, but the later suddenly outbursts her dissatisfaction that Junichi should follow her like a dog. She threatens Junichi to reveal their conversation at the cafe to Yukana, but his perverted friends along with Ranko arrives. Ranko threatens Yui that she will reveal to the class her Boa identity if she continues to blackmail Junichi. Yui gives the memory card to Junichi as she leaves in dismay. Yukana also appears after the confrontation and is happy to know that Junichi is still head over heels to her. Yui vows vengeance while walking. At the salon, a well-bosomed lady is satisfied on her makeover. Junichi is experiencing a dream of Yukana until he wakes up and sees a little busty, pink-haired lady on his chest. The lady reveals to him that she is Nene, who had a Gyaru-styled makeover, despite not being proficient in speaking like a Gyaru. On their way to school, Nene clings to Junichi, and the latter's perverted friends see him in envy. Minoru, who has an obsession with little busty girls, is quickly fascinated to Nene, but suddenly gets disappointed upon learning her age. At the shoe locker, Junichi is greeted by Yui, who tries to make amends with him from their previous confrontation. Nene appears to both of them and quickly berates Yui due to her mentality and flat-chestedness. At lunch break, Junichi is eating together with Yukana while Ranko guarding them both. Nene joins the lunch, and Yukana barely recognizes Nene, while the latter competes herself to Ranko and Yukana by bumping their breasts, much to Junichi's delight. Later at night and after watching Yui's Boa online show, Junichi tries to sleep but a naked Nene appears on him, which demands to have sex with her. Though his libido kicks in, he remains loyal to Yukana by refusing to have sex with Nene. Nene left and vows to get Junichi's affection someday. The next day, Junichi seems to be worried about Nene, and Yukana approaches him, expressing concern over his worries and suggests that they will go somewhere. Nene interferes and continues to cling on Junichi, and Yukana is unaffected by it and smiles at them. Shinpei and his perverted friends discuss Junichi's relationship progress and suggest to make it naughtier by playing a king game. Yukana invites Junichi to come to her house, which the latter suggests inviting Ranko and Nene, as well as his perverted friends, much to Yukana's dismay. As Junichi daydreams on taking advantage of Yukana, Yui appears on him and inadvertently invited as well. At Yukana's house, she gets changed and invites Junichi to her room. Delighted to the interior of her room, Junichi also gets delighted on Yukana's sensual appearance, while the latter seemingly teases him. Their sensual moment is being interrupted by the arrival of Ranko, Nene, and Yui. Then came the perverted friends, which they wear weird attire. Shinpei initiates the king game, and everyone seems to be having fun until Shinpei and Junichi devise a plan to gain a kiss with Yukana. The round which involves kissing ended up on all boys, which revealed as Junichi rigged the selection to save the girls despite he might kissing his perverted friends. After the humiliating dare of kissing, Yukana invites everyone to summer vacation, but everyone doesn't have enough money to spend. They decided to take part-time jobs to fill up their proposed summer vacation. Shinpei discusses with his perverted friends and Junichi about job placings posted on the internet and decided to work for their preparation on the upcoming summer vacation. Junichi applies for a kitchen staff on a cosplay-themed cafe, and it happens as Yukana, Ranko, Yui, and Nene work as cosplayed waitresses on the same workplace. As days pass on their part-time jobs, the cosplay-themed cafe where Junichi and the girls working, the supervisor had a nefarious plan to hold an event that will somewhat boost the cafe. The supervisor gives them books that contain lewd and sensual stories, camouflaged as ordinary books. As the girls read, Junichi and Yukana are somewhat aroused but manage to fend off by realizing that something is wrong with the event that will be going to happen. Junichi angrily tells the supervisor about respect towards the girls, but the supervisor ignores his plea. Yui decides to take matters into her own hands as she contacts the owner of the cafe itself and threatens the supervisor. The event is canceled, and they finally take their hard-worked earnings. The summer vacation has finally come, and the gang happily meet at their rendezvous point. Junichi, Yukana, and friends finally hit the beach. With the girls having a good time on the sea with Junichi, Shinpei and his perverted buddies are seemingly bored while their eyes peeled on ladies wearing swimsuits. In the evening, the girls spend time on the hot springs while Shinpei continues his nefarious scheme of peeking on the girls. As the boys march to the hot springs, Junichi tries to foil Shinpei's plan, but the latter concludes that Junichi is somewhat traitor. Junichi and Shinpei bicker around the forest until Junichi falls down to the cliff. Shinpei and Keigo continue marching towards to the hot springs. However, traps are scattered, and they are unsuccessful, tripping a switch that creates a beautiful fireworks display, which the girls see it with delight. The girls continue their bonding by spending on the beach with string fireworks. Yukana finds the unconscious Junichi, and they talked about their upcoming date. As the two brood sweetness, Yui, Ranko, and Nene, see them in envy. Yukana and Junichi are back to the city, and a guy who's formerly acquainted to Yukana greets them. Yukana's middle school friend Dai Mitarai bumps into her and Junichi. Junichi begins to feel that she took an interest of her friend more than him because of his looks. After thinking that she likes him more, Yukana gets angry and leaves Junichi in a huff, making him feel worse. During school, Junichi tries his attempts to talk to Yukana, but she gives him the silent treatment. His friends tried to cheer him up by going to karaoke and succeeded, but then backfired when they saw Yukana talking to Dai. After a conversation another day, Junichi runs into Yukana and then accuses her of messing with his heart and ends his relationship with her, leaving her heartbroken. Yui comes to talk to him and becomes mad at him for being selfish about what he thinks. Nene scolds him as well. Yukana meet with her friends, and at the moment she is about to speak, she cries. Ranko becomes furious and storms off to find Junichi. At the restaurant, where Ranko finds Junichi and his friends there, Dai came in with his gang, and Junichi and the rest listened about what they're going to do to Yukana. Ranko goes to them, but Junichi steps in and comes towards them, with Junichi confronting Dai and his friends. They go outside to settle matters. Dai starts winning the fight, but Junichi grabs, then bites Dai's leg. Dai summons his friends to beat Junichi to no avail. When Dai promises to stop bothering Yukana, Junichi releases his leg. Dai immediately kicks him repeatedly. Ranko steps in with Junichi's friends. Ranko encourages Junichi to find Yukana to make amends. After he leaves her and Junichi's friends beat and humiliate Dai in his group. Yukana does not answer her phone calls from a running and frantic Junichi. She remains in the cafe with Nene and Yui, where they tell her to meet Junichi and air out their feelings. After Yukana leaves, Yui and Nene contemplate if it is right to help their rival. After a long wait, Junichi finally meets Yukana behind the school and make amends, recreating his first confession while in a dogeza. After their romantic reconciliation, Yukana decides to take Junichi to spend the day at the amusement park. They go to a photo booth and take a picture together with Junichi attempting to kiss her. At the end of their date, Yukana confesses to him that she would like to return with him the following year to the amusement park and then all years after. She then unexpectedly kisses Junichi right before she leaves for home,